I'm just not okay with it. I don't want my daughter taking down no man hair at school, at home, uncle, cousin, brother. Brother is okay because they're the same age, but school is for school. Sometimes when the school calls me and they're like, oh, he was in the office today, color, I'm like, for what? I want, like they said, teach them bill to bill. That's what they're at school for. And that's what I expect my daughter to be doing. So if I get on TikTok and I see her behind taking a man's hair down, I'm going to be upset. I'm not going to, I'm not going to kind of say his reasoning for it. I don't know enough to say that. And like Sweeney said, I'm not going to project, but I'm just not okay with it. It's just nothing about it to me is like, yeah, they get good grades. They can take down his braids.
Let's go ahead and stir the pot a little, shall we? Last Friday, 10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out. There was quite the discourse in the chat, which had people saying this was inappropriate and other people saying this was completely fine. There was nothing wrong with what I was doing and people were just making it weird. So of course I had to bring this issue to the big stage. I would like to represent myself in this case, Your Honor, if I may. Number one, for a little context, I had a hair appointment immediately after school and I needed my hair taken out beforehand. I would have taken it out the night before, but that Friday we had a camera crew coming in to shoot a promotional video and I was one of the ones being interviewed. So I had to look presentable, so I didn't take my hair out. I didn't have the time to do it all myself because it would have taken me forever. So naturally I asked about 4 or 5 of my over 100 best friends to assist me in taking my hair out and they all agreed. Number 2, this was at the end of class. This week we were doing STEM fair presentations. Since it was Friday and all of my students did an excellent job on their STEM fair projects and presentations, I told them if we get one solid presentation in this class, I'll end class a little early and they can have fun and play basketball, darts, or be on their phones or whatever. And during that time, my team would help me take my hair out. A couple of these were students from my class, but others were students from other classes. I wrote all of them a pass at the beginning of the class period, requesting their assistance 10 minutes before dismissal. I told the teachers only send them if all of their work was completed and they had good behavior. They all met the criteria, so 10 minutes before dismissal, they showed up for their job. My next point I'd like to make is if I was a female teacher, those people wouldn't be in the comments saying, oh, this is weird, this is inappropriate. Because me personally, I don't think there's anything weird about this. People are saying, oh, that's too intimate. To me, it's literally just hair. It doesn't have to be weird. Some people have never had cool teachers and it shows. I personally believe that building authentic relationships with students is paramount in being an effective teacher. I make sure my students know and can feel that I care about them beyond the schoolwork and all the stuff that I have to make them do. I take the time to get to know my students outside of academics because caring for the whole child is what's important. Some of these students have been with me since I was a substitute 4 years ago. They see me as a big brother or a father figure, as some of them say. And me, I don't want kids of my own, so all of these kids are literally my children. And in case you're wondering about their parents, most of them follow me on social media and always talk about my videos with their kids. They always tell me that they're so grateful that their kids have someone like me in their life. In my admin, they're well aware of my social media presence and they love my videos. To me, this is just another wholesome moment that I'm having with my kids that I was fortunate enough to catch on film. Since I'm a science teacher, one thing that I teach my students about is symbiosis. Symbiosis deals with the relationships between organisms. The type of relationship that I like to foster in my class is mutualism, or mutualistic relationship, which means both organisms benefit from the exchange. So when my students have good behavior, complete all their assignments, and do everything that a scholar is supposed to do, I reward them with downtime and just time to just be a kid, be on their phones, play games, gossip, so on and so forth. My students and I work hard and we play harder. I'm fortunate enough to have students that feel safe and comfortable around me, safe to come to me with their problems, their frustrations. They come to me seeking guidance and wisdom, or come to me simply to chill and hang out because they know that they have a safe space to be themselves around me. What I strive to do as an educator is be the teacher I wish I had grown up. I strive to be the teacher that makes my inner child happy, someone that my inner child would be proud of. I want to be the teacher that my students reflect back on 20, 30 years down the line and think like, dang, that teacher I had in middle school, he was the shit. No further questions, Your Honor. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. You think this was inappropriate, or people are making something out of nothing? And although you are entitled to your opinion, all I ask is that you be respectful. Thank you.
You can't expect me to take you seriously.
Sound like a good guy, man. Say he don't want no kids. So these are his children. These are his children, man. All the parents know him. They follow him on social media. They know what type of time he's on. He recorded. Good guy, man. Good guy. I'm gonna go ahead and start with you, Shan. You know, I know you're a teacher. Is this something that's typical in the classroom? I'm coming to you next, Cookie, because I know you guys actually have hands-on with
I got
students.
my nails done in the class today.
Okay.
One of my students did my nails today.
Okay.
But I teach an entrepreneurship class, and it was her performance finals, so it's a little different. But so what I'm going to say is, so he's a core class, and in our school system we have what's called bell to bell. You're supposed to teach from bell to bell, right? But I do understand that there is downtime. I would have liked to have heard him say something like, "This is an advisement class, a homeroom class," and usually those are the classes that, you know, you can be a little bit more flexible because it's really not instructional time, right? And he's correct. Sometimes when the kids get done with their work, they do give an incentive, like, "Oh, you guys are good done with your work. You might be able to do this and this." I've never heard taking braids out, though. It's kind of, I wish he would have just done it after school, or I don't know. I think it's just it wouldn't hold over well in Gwinnett County because they really want you to teach from bell to bell. As far as it being little girls touching his hair, I mean, to each his own. I didn't see, if I found out, you know, my daughter was in middle school and she took somebody's hair out. If I trusted in videotape like this where I can see it's innocent, I guess I would be okay with. I think it was a little strange, but I guess I would be okay with it if it's innocent. But, you know, rule of thumb, I don't allow kids to touch me. I don't touch kids unless it's like a little side church hug. And of course, to get my nails done for a performance exam. That's all.
Okay. All right, so you don't have a problem with it. You're okay with it as long as.
I think my problem is not necessarily him still taking out the braids. My problem is the instructional time. That's all.
All right, what's going on, Cookie?
Hey.
What happened there? What are your thoughts, man?
We have a bell-to-bell rule as well. I'm not that teacher. Kids don't listen bell to bell. I'm a project-based learning teacher. So that means I talk for about 15 minutes and then we're working on something. So a lot of times some kids get done early. He's right. And he said it was the last period of the day. And by that time, everybody's burned out anyway. So as far as him getting his hair taken down, I didn't see anything. He went live for a reason. Just so he can protect himself. It's called CYA in the teacher world. Cover your ass. I think people have a tendency to make things too sexual. We need more black men in education, and scaring them off like this is a problem. Like, just because he got his braids taken down, and it couldn't have took more than 10 minutes because he was still instructing, holding a lizard. About a lot of things happened in that sped up video. So I'm trying to figure out where the inappropriateness was. But I mean, he wouldn't have gotten in trouble at my school. Let me put it that way. So I don't see anything personal. If I walked in and there was a bunch of girls with rat tail combs taking out a man's hair, I wouldn't automatically be like, oh, because there's been worse. There's been worse. So yeah.
All right.
The lights could have been off. It could have been lights spinning. It could have been a worse scene than that. I think people are overreacting and need to leave that man alone.
All right, the people overreacting. And White, let me go ahead and get some male perspectives. What are your thoughts about that, man? I know you have some young ones. And, you know, if you seen that video, what are your thoughts?
So I'm jumping back and forth. Like I got hair. I usually had hair. And I done got my hair braided by the neighbors before, by their little cousins before, by different people, family members that I never even met. You know what I'm saying? It's hard taking your braids down. But like especially them individuals, it do take a long. I think he probably should have just called off from work maybe and then got them done at the salon. Because although culturally I understand it, it's part of like maintenance, and we all like if my daughter was taken down and he paid her, my next door neighbor braids and he paid her, and it was out on the porch or something where everybody could see, I would not have a problem with it. There's also a power dynamic that makes it kind of weird. So it's like, because maybe she didn't want to take the braids down. Do we have the influence to force her to take the braids down by offering a grade or by looking down on like, so it's a lot of different things that I would have been like stray away from that. But just on the surface, like younger people taking down, like doing hair, if they worked at a shop, would it have been an issue? I don't think so. I think the issue was it was in that specific classroom. But I also understand the need to be interconnected within the community. I'm kind of perplexed because there's a lot of stuff that I heard somebody for about my kids. This ain't, and he also said the parents know. That's another thing that kind of like, because my relationship with the neighbors would be the reason why I would feel comfortable with my daughter being on the front porch taking his braids down. Now, if it's somebody I don't know and you walk down the street and you, man, get off that porch, get your little ass to the house. No. Hey, bro, why are you talking to my child? That's different than if you got a 4-year. He said they got a 4-year relationship with the parents. He be on social media every day. Him talking about he wanted to be the teacher that he wanted when he was in school. It resonated with me because I try and be the parent that I wanted. So I understand those things. I just think he misstepped, and he should probably draw finer lines to make sure he never can even be misconstrued as being on some Drake shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my thought.
All right, I'm gonna go to Sweeney, man. Sweeney, I seen your face. You might have been a little bit disturbed about what you've been hearing. What's going on, brother?
Oh, I've been all right. I think a lot of people are projecting. Not necessarily anybody on this panel, but as far as the comment section, anybody that was, as a matter of fact, there was an entire discussion about it on Facebook among some friends of mine. And then when you ask questions 3 layers deep, you find out that the woman who was so against it was someone who was abused as a child. And so you're projecting your problems onto this teacher who did nothing wrong. Now, granted, was there some school things that he may have violated? Possible, but obviously not. I would assume going live in your classroom is probably a violation as well. But obviously this school is okay with it. He's been doing this for years, apparently. He has literally a social media page dedicated to his classroom. So this is not anything new. Is this any different from a coach or a teacher who asks his students after school to come help him work on his car? Shan just told you that her students did her nails
for a grade,
and she offered a grade for it. The very thing that Marcus,
it's the class on entrepreneurship class.
The very thing that Marcus said he will be worried about.
It's literally the class, like it's the performance.
No, seriously though, the problem I have with this is if I did a Venn diagram of the people who are upset with this man and the people who saw nothing wrong with that mother letting her daughter wax grown ass women, it would be a perfect fucking circle. A lot of those people would see a black man do something and just see the worst in the image and what's going on. But they'll see a woman who let her daughter wax grown ass women and be like, oh, she was just being an entrepreneur. She was just teaching her how to do. Stop it. This was innocent. There was no worst that could happen. There was none of that. It wasn't. He let the kids in the classroom take down his hair. And am I the only one that sat here and recognized that all these girls had rat tail combs?
They ready to do hair.
All of them had rat tail combs. You know he didn't produce that shit. He didn't have no rat tail combs. All of them already probably do hair in the classroom. That's why they volunteered to do it. Also, The thing I want to, what do the kids' grades look like? That's what we should be asking. Y'all worried about the wrong shit. Because if his kids are passing, and I don't mean that fake, throw them along just because you're trying to hurry up and get them through passing. I mean, his kids are good kids that are passing, they're doing their jobs. The parents love them, the students love them. And he was right. We all dream of having that teacher that we connected with on a level that was like, damn, that teacher really did change my life. So shit. I think this is we reading too much into this, and I think a lot of people are speaking from their trauma. One of the commenters said that, yeah, we used to have crushes on our teachers back in the day. Yeah, just because you wanted to fuck your teacher doesn't mean you got to make it seem like these kids want to fuck their teacher, or vice versa. Not everybody is Drake.
Wow, man, y'all just
I have a question, JR. So I didn't even see the comments. Were the comments more so of the professionalism, or were they saying that
they were saying he was
appropriate?
Yeah, they were saying that he was inappropriate predator-wise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he shouldn't be recording in the classroom, not procedural, none of that shit. It was more about them saying, oh, it's inappropriate to have a grown man and some girls in the classroom. He was grooming them and stuff like that. They were accusing him of grooming and a lot of other things.
Gotcha.
All right. I'm going to get Danny in now. What are your thoughts about it, man?
I mean, I'm kind of one of the ones that he was describing. I wasn't okay with little girls waxing a grown woman, but I will say I'm not a teacher. My family, I have a lot of women in my life who are teachers, but I have a daughter and she cannot take down a man's braids at school. That's her teacher. There's for me, that's black and white. I don't care if they're good kids. I don't care if she know how to do hair. I don't care if she finished her work early. There's a whole lot of other stuff she could do besides take down this man's hair. So I'm just a hard no, full stop. If the parents are okay with it, they're okay with it. That's their children. I'm not going to have an opinion about their parenting or their trusting in adults. I don't think it's predatory. To me, it didn't look predatory, but I'm just not okay with it. I don't want my daughter taking down no man hair at school, at home, uncle, cousin, brother. Brother is okay because they're the same age, but school is for school. Sometimes when the school calls me and they're like, oh, he was in the office today, color, I'm like, for what? I want, like they said, teach them bill to bill. That's what they're at school for. And that's what I expect my daughter to be doing. So if I get on TikTok and I see her behind taking a man's hair down, I'm going to be upset. I'm not going to, I'm not going to kind of say his reasoning for it. I don't know enough to say that. And like Sweeney said, I'm not going to project, but I'm just not okay with it. It's just nothing about it to me is like, yeah, they get good grades. They can take down his braids.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, I get exactly where you're coming from. Let me ask you a question. Would you allow your 16-year-old to have a job?
A job?
Yeah.
No.
So they can't have jobs? Okay.
I mean, I want me personally, I want their job to be school. Like
right.
if they start something entrepreneurial, I mean, my son has started several businesses since 9. I want him to fail fast and quick, but I want him to focus on school and I want him to focus on sports or something like that, as far as like getting into the groove of the understanding of discipline and structure. But I would prefer them not to have a job.
Okay. So with their business, can they have clients? Well, never mind.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yes. This is preference. I guess when you said allow, I am very black and white sometimes. So that's a conversation they would have to come and talk to me about. But I would just prefer my daughter. And also, I don't know what grade he teaches. But to me, the age of those girls, I don't think he's, a predator or gonna, anything like that. But regardless of his character, I don't want my daughter doing that. I'm okay if the parents okay with that, but my daughter, she's not gonna do that.
Yeah. I'm the same way, man. I think I would have a problem if my daughter was. I seen the video I taking this guy here.
It's just not going.
Would I have a problem if your son was helping this teacher change out his spark plugs?
If the spark
not
plugs
the
were on her
same.
body,
It is the
yeah.
And
same.
it is.
If the
It's
spark
literally
plugs
the
were on
same.
her body, I would have an issue with it. If it was inside the car, if he had a mannequin inside the classroom and allowing them to learn how to braid, cool. If they had a class where the teacher was like, as a man, you're supposed to know how to lay floors or change out tires, cool. But as far as it being on his person, she's not touching him. That's just my daughter.
All right.
Would your son give him a lineup?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. No, the same
It's not
thing.
a male or woman thing. My son's not, shaping up his teacher either. It's just they're not touching their teachers. To me.
Why?
Exactly. That's my question. Why?
No, I'm asking why would you have a problem with that?
Just for personal space, I would prefer if my children and their teachers had a relationship dynamic where they were their teachers and my kids were their students.
Fair enough.
And this too, like I think that this man is doing, we see the video, and I think that he's doing, he has a great relationship with the kids. But let's not act like some people act like this and they have different agendas. So parents don't know who is who. So I don't believe that this is this guy. He has a podcast. As we can see, he documented it, just like Cookie said. He has proof that when they were doing his hair, it was videotaped. But there are people, unfortunately, there are teachers, we see it every day, that, just like Cookie said, the light may be off. You know what I'm saying? And you just don't want to I don't even want you to even think you could be comfortable with my kid in that situation. Again, I don't think that this is him. Okay.
That's also how I feel. I don't personally.
We don't know.
I don't see that, but that's the cases, right? Most of it is somebody somebody you close to, not really a stranger. But as far as like through a screen, I don't feel that, and I don't want to place that on him. I do understand people's concerns, but I think let's keep it black and white, so it's not even, so it doesn't get muddy or it doesn't get gray. Separate it.